So I'm recording right now, and I'm going to put myself on mute, and I'll let you go ahead. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, if you want to ask any, if you want to break in with questions, feel free. Okay, so hi, I'm Carl Gold, and I discovered the Lee Center. I retired from being a government lawyer in February of 2014, 6.5 years ago, and I had no particular plans, and I thought, well, I'll take some classes and go to the gym and that kind of stuff. And then somehow I came upon the 55 plus catalog, maybe in one of the other community centers like Thomas Jefferson, and I looked at things and I saw a few things that I was interested in. One being I wanted to try meditation, which I had done some years before, and the history group, which meets monthly, and I've always been interested in history, so I signed up and I went over, and the people were very welcoming. Um, I stayed in the meditation group for the rest of its run there, which was about another 4.5 years. It was a great group. The people were all friendly. Shay, the meditation teacher, was great. She took a year off actually, and that's why it ended there. Although she's reconvened it at her home, which is very gracious. And I tried to go to the history group when I could, the one that Andrea Bowman runs, which is again a very interesting and friendly and informative group. And then I discovered somewhere that Adriana, the senior director, who is just a wonderful person and could never do enough for us folks, was trying to put together a band to play rock music. So I checked that out and I became a member of the rocking chairs, which was a lot of fun. And we used to rehearse every week or two in the big room at Lee, where the offices, and then we played at a couple of events. One at the talent show, and then with Valentine's Day dance, and people would come to the rehearsals and hang out and listen. People were very tolerant since as a rock band we were pretty loud, but everybody dealt with it. And Myrna, Adriana's assistant, was always there, and she was always really nice and helpful too. And so that was great. I mean, Adriana particularly welcomed music. They, as you know, Tom, they have or had a number of regular music groups that sang music from just about all eras. And another one that I got more involved in later was the Just Playing Country group, which was also a very friendly group and played great music. And so that was a lot of what got me there after a while and kept me going there regularly with different music things. I think in about the winter or spring of early 2015, I had the idea to start a folk singing sing-along group. Um, the groups that they had there were all great, but a lot of them catered to people who played instruments. And so I liked the idea of having a group where people who didn't play an instrument could sing. And uh, it started slowly, but then it built momentum and it became an every month thing until we shut down. We used to get 20-25 people regularly. Everybody seemed to have a really good time, and people who didn't think of themselves as great singers but just liked to sing quietly, or even people who didn't sing at all, were welcome to come and hang out, and we had a great time. And Adriana and her staff, and then Sheila, who became the acting director when Adriana left, were always great about letting people uh, try new things. We did some karaoke days, events, and then we did music trivia, and all kinds of things. I played at a few of the holiday gatherings, and we got sing-alongs going there. And yeah, so that was a great time. Um, what can you say? It's an old building, and the facilities weren't the easiest to deal with, and we had to move stuff around a lot and things like that. But that was almost part of the fun and the community aspect of it, which was very strongly, very strong feel of community. And it was like, okay, we're just going to have to rearrange things or maybe move to a new room or figure out how to do this, and we'll work on that together. And that was actually part of the fun and charm and what made it just a strong community. Then, as you know, Adriana, after a year or two that I've been active there, asked me to be on the advisory committee, which was a really interesting experience. I learned a lot about how the county operates, and we were always trying to come up with new ideas for how to have programs that were accessible to lots of people and interesting and low cost or free. We made do with an extremely limited budget, as you know. um, and that also was part of the challenge, and the part of the community feeling was, we can do this, we'll find ways to make it fun and interesting and get a good crowd even if we don't have a lot of money to spend. So uh, those were, the highlights really, and there's a lot of them. Most recently, we had an outdoor sing-along outside the building on the field there in October, early October, and we got a big crowd, and it was a nice reunion for a lot of people who haven't been comfortable, who haven't been able to see each other and haven't been able to go out much, and wanted to see everybody again. And we were blessed with beautiful weather, and so that's a memory that I always take with me. Um, that's like the main points. If Do you have any questions, or should I
Yeah.
embellish anything?
One thing I've always wondered, did you pay for the, the songbooks, or did the county pay for them?
No, I did. I had the idea early on that I was started with a handout of songs that I copied, and and I was trying to update, and I realized there's always in groups like that, people want to have a huge choice of songs, and I find as a musician that I can get tired of doing the same songs over and over, and it would have been much too much work to try to keep on expanding the handout. So I knew about these books because I've been a leader for years at an independent sing-along group that had been meeting at local churches or on weekends. And so I decided to buy a bunch, and figure it was a long-term loan to the center, but I also was able to use them at the sing-along group that I was leading outside. So it was a good investment, and um, everybody enjoyed the books and having the range. People sometimes complained that there were too many choices, and then I would say, this is a fun activity, so don't feel like it's an assignment. Well, you have three possible sources of songs, so if it's easier for you, just use one and pick out of that book today, and then next time pick out of the other book. So just have fun, and that was the spirit we tried to do everything in, was just to have fun. And some people would come in and they were worried about whether we were doing songs right or good enough, and I just said, this is our opportunity to just enjoy each other's company, and singing is a great way to do it. And so there are plenty of groups around here that are organized choirs or choral groups, and they rehearse really hard, and they try to get every note right, but we don't have to worry about here. So that worked out. So now I have the books back in my possession, and I'm willing to share them somewhere if we get a group going at another place, or they always come in handy somewhere or other.
Well, that's great. I know a lot of people really enjoy singing at the group. Um, so,
Well, thank
um, do you you said you might want to sing something,
Oh,
or
it's an old folk song from the '60s by the Seekers called "I'll Never Find Another You," and it was a favorite at the folk group. It was requested almost every time, and I played it for Adriana when she left, and also Ira, one of our members who's over 90. When he loves this song, and when he turned 90, I played it for him at the next folk group after that. So there's a new world somewhere they call the Promised Land, and I'll be there someday if you will hold my hand. Still need you there beside me until my life is through, 'cause I know I'll never find another you. Another you, another you. So that's my hope, that we'll find each other again at another place when all this is over and we have a chance to all meet again in person.
yeah, it's singing is a little bit like ballroom dancing. That's the spreader events.
Right, right. I don't know if you had a chance to come by the outdoor sing along. The staff had like plastic hoops, like little hula hoops, and they put them on the ground 10 feet apart. And people were wearing masks too. So we made it and I had a microphone and PA. So I didn't have to get too near them and spray them when I sang. And it was fine. It worked out well. You can be, just a little creativity and you can have fun and keep safe too.
Okay, so thank you very much. And
Thank you, and thank you for your service to Lee also, Tom. You and Fran on the advisory committee, and you graciously took over the chairmanship when it opened up, and I appreciate that very much, and I know everyone else does too.
okay, so thanks again, and I guess we'll call it a wrap.
It's all right.
Okay, bye.
Good to see you. Be well.